Hello and welcome to Wrestling with Anime. I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.
So, Dave, you had me watch
Lupin III, Castle of Cagliostro.
Alright, so we're going to start off with that. So, I have a couple of quick notes here. So the movie was originally released in 1979 in Japan. Didn't make it to our shores until 91.
Yeah, it was a while.
12 goddamn years.
Yeah.
So it was directed by, Miyazaki. I don't know how to pronounce his first name.
Hayao Miyazaki. It was
Sure.
one of his first debut films.
Yeah. Okay. So, the movie is about a master thief, Lupin III.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes on... So they rob a bank.
Casino.
Oh, yeah, casino. And then they were like, oh shit, all the money's counterfeit. But it's like super good counterfeit. So they go to this Cagliostro... Fucking who cares? Some Italian name I'm never going to say right. And then they're like, oh, this count dude's been doing all the counterfeiting and whatnot. And then there's this other international police dude who's chasing Lupin, who Lupin calls in because fucking who knows why.
It's easy to sneak into a place when you got your enemies dealing with some of your other enemies.
Yeah, I mean, it ends up making sense later, but... Okay. So, ultimately, like, Lupin, he has to, like, save this princess, and then all this stuff.
That kind of comes in more so to start with, since the bride kind of runs past him when they were traveling.
Yeah, okay. So, the first thing I noticed is if you go to Wikipedia, they have an article for, like, the movie, right? Mm-hmm. And it lists the running time as, I think it's, like, 100 minutes. There's apparently two versions of this. There's a Japanese one that's like an hour and 50 minutes, and there's the American one that's like an hour and 40. Mm-hmm. And I'd really like to know what the differences are.
I think it's mostly just a case that they had to cut a little bit of the stuff out for the English release.
Like, content-wise, or...?
I believe it was just some additional panning sort of scenes for it.
Oh, okay.
Because with the particular version that I watched... there are a couple particular scenes where not a whole lot happens, and it kind of gives you an idea of the scenery, and those sorts of scenes aren't exactly popular with a whole bunch of people.
So did you watch this on, like, DVD, or...?
In my case, it was a downloaded version, so it was most likely the English one, but with the little bit of research I've done, that was most of the scenes that were kind of adjusted.
Okay, so I just watched whatever version it was on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So, ultimately, I quite enjoyed this.
I wouldn't be too surprised. There were a couple little things that I think probably would have irritated you a little bit.
I think the reason I liked it so much is it's not an anime.
How so?
Because it's not like... It doesn't fall into the traps of doing like all this, what I refer to as typical anime bullshit.
Okay. And what exactly would those sorts of things fall under for that?
It's hard to explain.
Well,
but
I think it's kind of specific tropes and whatnot. Anything such as surviving or beating the evil villain just because of the power of friendship or other particular things
that kind of thing pisses me off. It's also just like style a lot of times. I just hate the way that a lot of anime looks. Like, the animation looks really good, but then just like stylistically there are things I don't like. Whereas this, the first thing I wrote down when I was reading it was, this looks like some Scooby-Doo level bullshit. Because that opening sequence, that's some Scooby-Doo shit right there.
That's Lupin the Third for you.
And that makes me actually want to watch more of this, because I'm like, oh, this is Scooby-Doo that's slightly more serious. What? And then it takes a weird turn later in the movie where Lupin gets shot, and I'm like, up to this point, I'm like, this is a really kid-friendly movie, and then all of a sudden somebody's dying.
Yeah, but then of course you also need to remember, how many things have Lupin done that he survived from? Like, getting pushed through a whole bunch of water gears, surviving underwater for a ridiculous amount of time without air.
Yeah, but that's all, like, cartoony stuff. Like, it's a cartoon, you can do that.
True.
The minute you start shooting people, now you can't, like... That's, like, the problem I had with the movie, is, so you want to have this serious moment of Lupin getting shot, but then he can survive underwater for, like, a fucking hour.
Nah, true. And with other things, there are other characters who try that too. That one guy in the clock tower that decided to go up the gears didn't have that fun of a time.
Oh, I'm honestly surprised that they showed, like, as much as they did. Like, they don't show him getting crushed, but they heavily imply it. And I was like, wow.
That, the shoes falling down, yeah.
They definitely go a lot farther with that than I thought they would.
But the other interesting thing that I realized with watching this movie again, how resourceful Lupin is. Not only with just the beginning, but all the material he has, all the equipment that he uses, and the tactics that he has to try and get stuff done. I think the best way to state it is he's trying to get into the tower to save the princess the first time, and he has a little rocket to shoot his wire across the way, despite the fact it doesn't work, and go into how the heck did he actually make that anime logic. But he still had all that equipment to actually get into there.
Yeah, no, Lupin's super resourceful, and, like... Okay, so we have this... There's this great moment. I forget exactly when it happens. But there's this line where a bunch of people are, like, running away, and one of the guys yells, "You'll never work in this principality again." And that just... I popped for that. I was like, that's funny.
Yes, it's quite amazing the couple things that they say with this. Though... the action scenes were what really sold this movie to me.
It is surprisingly good considering the age of it. Like, it's almost 40 years old at this point. And
yeah, so true.
If you took, like, American cartoons around the same time, they wouldn't have had near the same level of, like, detail or stuff like that. At least nothing I'm familiar with.
Very true. Though, you still catch a couple of the particular tricks, such as reusing animation to cover certain scenes.
Yeah, but it's not as bad as, like, Hanna-Barbera.
So very true.
Where it's like, we got one goddamn background and we're gonna fucking use it. Okay, so ultimately Lupin ends up saving the princess, and they find out that, like, this treasure that they were looking for is this, like, thing of ancient ruins that somehow got flooded, and don't ask questions because it doesn't make fucking sense if you think about it.
Yeah, true. Very true.
And then Lupin just kind of fucks off because the police are after him.
Yeah, very true. But I think the biggest thing is, if you are interested in looking into more Lupin the Third, do not expect this Lupin the Third.
So how is he different in the other stuff?
Well, it shows a small scene of it, but most people kind of theorize, and I kind of agree with the thought, that this is kind of Lupin's later adventures in his life, where he's older, has decent experience, but isn't as reckless or stupid as he was when he was a younger thief. Because when he was younger, he was one hell of a womanizer. And it would have been the case that he would have gotten with the girl and had his way and all the other particular stuff with him. I think the only one particular person that probably wouldn't have bothered with that was Fujiko, the female person that helped out with Lupin's adventure.
Yeah. So, like, are the other movies, like, more serious, or do they kind of keep the same tone? Because it's really the tone that I liked more than anything.
The tone probably would have been the same, but there probably would have been a little bit more edge and possibly a little bit more ridiculousness. It's something I haven't dived too deeply into myself.
Okay. So, like, it's really the tone that I loved.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just fun. So, yeah, I would definitely watch more Lupin the Third. I quite enjoyed this.
No, it was absolutely wonderful to watch this again. But I think one of the biggest things and what sort of drew me to watching this movie was one of the particular voice actors that was in it, which was David Hayter, who voiced Lupin III. But he also turned out to be quite the voice actor later on, being Snake from pretty much every single Metal Gear Solid game.
Okay. So yeah, I also, one of the things I really liked is it's like 100 minutes. It's not super long.
Mm-hmm.
Major bonus points there.
And I think just with the word I'm looking for, the speed everything was sort of going at, nothing seemed rushed. It went through certain points of showing off everything and showing all the detail of stuff, but didn't linger on it too long, as well as didn't shove everything too far.
No, it's very well paced.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
they keep a consistent pace, and it's not like they're not rushing through anything, but they're not taking way too long to establish things either. It's very well paced. I will give them a ton of credit for that.
And I think the other thing is, man, that castle, all the supposed work that would have to go into it to have all that stuff in it, the secret passageways, the traps, everything, just... That would be an awesome sort of place to live, but God, it would be confusing for guests.
I also love how he has like this tower that he has this like retractable bridge to go to. That's just great. So do you have anything to add about the castle of whatever the fuck Italian word that is?
I think the one particular thing that I didn't really realize when I first watched this movie was one of the particular trademarks about Miyazaki when he makes movies that I particularly notice is there's only one time in the entire movie where he uses his hair-raising trick.
I don't know what that means.
Well, within any sort of Studio Ghibli or movie that Miyazaki has worked on, to emphasize particular emotions within characters, such as either being angry, shocked, or surprised, he causes their hair to kind of frizz up a little bit.
Yeah, okay. That's something I hate in anime.
Okay.
It just makes me mad. So, anything else?
No, I think that's everything for the movie, so let's jump over to Money in the Bank 2011.
Okay, so we start off with the opening video package.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about it?
Not really. It kind of ran through a whole bunch of historical stuff of, oh man, all these wrestlers.
Yeah, so basically the opening video package is designed to set up the main event. And it's basically, so CM Punk's contract expires at midnight, he's in the title match, and if Cena loses, he gets fired.
Yeah.
Just because apparently you needed that extra stipulation, which I think is dumb. But I think having like the title on the line and potentially leaving the company is enough of a draw. You didn't need to add Cena getting fired, because they're not going to stick to that stipulation.
It is John Cena.
He does draw a lot of fucking money for that company.
Yeah.
So, up first, SmackDown Money in the Bank.
The first one, at least.
Well, there's two. There's a Raw one and a SmackDown one. So we get the SmackDown one first. So, why don't you try to explain what a Money in the Bank match is?
Okay, so for anybody listening that doesn't exactly understand wrestling, there's the basis of the ring and the stadium and the whatnot. So they take this giant cord and stick a little bit of money over top of the ring.
No, they didn't. That's demonstrably not true. It's a briefcase.
Okay, a briefcase over the ring, where the Money in the Bank is a contract to give any person that has it a free chance to get the World Heavyweight title.
Yes, at any time of their choosing.
Yes.
Time or place.
Yes.
And they've never used that properly, in my opinion.
Sadness. But aside from that, they set out a whole bunch of ladders around the ring and get about, I think it was around 6 to 7 different wrestlers all in the ring.
I think it's 8 people in this match.
8 people with this one, but kind of a decent number of wrestlers all in the ring, and just says, okay, go nuts, guys, try to get the suitcase.
Yeah, so there's a briefcase. So here's my thing with the briefcase, and I don't know why they've never done this, is the stipulation is you can use it any time or place you want.
Okay.
So why hasn't, and I know people are going to hate me for this, but why hasn't anybody cashed it in while the guy was like sleeping in his hotel room? Just bring the ref in, hand him the thing, cover the guy, get the title. Like, logically,
it would supposedly work. The other wrestler would have to be one hell of a heavy sleeper, though.
No, really, you could just like put your finger on his chest and that would technically be a cover.
Okay, then. New rule for all the particular people who didn't know, including myself.
Well, I mean, Jericho in WCW used to put his foot on people to pin them. I mean, it never worked because they were awake at the time. Okay, so SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match. It's Cody Rhodes, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, Kane, Sin Cara, Sheamus, Wade Barrett, and Daniel Bryan.
Yes. So, one particular thing that was asked of me is while watching this to sort of take a look at all the wrestlers and see if I've actually seen these couple particular people before.
Yes, it was a little game we were going to play.
Yeah, so...
I'm guessing that on the entire show, you knew less than, I'm going to say 8.
Mm-hmm. So, this is going to be a bit of a mix of the stuff that you'd shown me, as well as just my previous experience with wrestlers and whatnot.
So, in this match, who are you familiar with?
One particular person that first came up was Sin Cara.
Okay.
And I think the only reason I remember him is because he was in that one Wrestling Scooby-Doo movie.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I didn't think you'd know Sin Cara. Okay. Anyone else?
Running down the list, most everybody was new, but then, of course, Daniel Bryan was there.
Okay.
Uh,
There's at least one other person you've seen a match of.
And the one other one that I saw but wasn't too sure was Sheamus. I believe I seen him either in wrestling sort of things or in one of your matches, but I can't specifically remember. Everybody else seemed kind of new, especially the gentleman with the face shield. Seriously, what was up with the face shield aside from actually protecting his face?
So, I don't think I've ever shown you a Sheamus match. I would have to check, but I don't think I have. You have seen Cody Rhodes before, though. And he was the one with the face shield.
Maybe that might have been the thing. He had the face shield on, so I couldn't completely recognize his face that much.
So the gimmick with Cody was...
He supposedly got surgery for something?
This is going to take a minute to explain. So he was dashing Cody Rhodes, right? Where he was supposed to be like super good looking and all this. And then he ends up taking a move from Rey Mysterio where he kicks him in his face. So he has to get reconstructive plastic surgery. And he puts the face shield on to protect his face while it's recovering. And then, later on, he would go around and say that the entire audience was really ugly, and he'd have his assistants go around and hand bags to people to put on their heads. It was bloody great. So, if you remember, the match I showed you in the New Japan in LA, the one with... It was Cody Rhodes versus, I think it was Okada? That's the same guy.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And that was before he went through his whole tirade of him being beautiful and other
No, that was well after.
Oh, okay. Where they hopefully changed this thing around? Or
well, he left the WWE and then went to New Japan and ROH, because...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so what did you think of this match?
Absolute insanity, good sir. Just like the start of it's like, okay, get started. And then everyone beats the ever-loving shit out of one another. Tosses a couple of people out. Then it's just the triad of wrestlers left. Just like, alright, who's going to make the first move?
Yeah, I really like this match type because it allows you to do a lot of things. Like,
just all the particular stuff that they choreographed for all this, it makes decent enough sense, and it was mildly entertaining, but it's kind of like, oh, okay, they pretty much choreographed this entire thing. Except for the couple of things they couldn't manage to do that were made little mistakes, but yeah,
so
that happens.
Sheamus powerbombs Sin Cara through a ladder.
Oh,
which looks great.
I felt that.
Here's the great part. They make a point of saying it is a metal ladder. Except you can clearly see the wood splinter when he goes through it.
I was wondering what that little stuff that the thing was.
It's a wood ladder that they spray painted to look metal.
I got caught up in the look of the things. I was worried for Sin Cara.
It was so...
I'm still worried for Sin Cara, but now it's mildly lessened.
Either way, that sucked to take.
I could hear him through the mask. Just, ugh.
Yeah, that sucked to take no matter what. But yeah, it wasn't metal. That was bullshit. I was surprised at how much they give Cody in this match. Because he hits his finish a couple of times. Like, he's put over pretty strong.
It kind of... I tried my best to sort of follow things along. I nearly have an entire page in notes trying to cover the match and all the particular things that happened. But mostly now it's just sort of devolved into, oh look, that guy knocked that guy out of the ring. Oh, he went up the ladder. Oh, that other guy took him down the ladder. Oh no, they knocked both those guys off the ladder. It's just, yeah.
Okay, so I forget who it is that gets picked up for it, but Shamo picks up somebody.
Oh, yes.
And then another, I forget who it is, but somebody else comes off the top rope with the clothesline.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Doomsday Device! That was awesome. You don't get to see the Doomsday Device often enough. Okay, so there's a commentary moment I want to point out. Michael Cole and Booker going off about something, and Jerry the King Lawler is the one to get them back on topic. If the King is the one bringing you back on topic, you done fucked up.
It was also Booker that was there. He kind of goes off.
Booker's amazing.
He kind of goes off on tangents for a bit.
He's so shit. Like, my favorite thing around this time is he did his Fave 5 on SmackDown.
Oh, jeez.
And it would routinely be about 8 people in his Fave 5 throughout the evening.
It's pretty much whoever is winning is in his Fave 5. It's
either whoever's winning or whoever's the babyface. Because Booker's going to get himself over, goddammit.
Well, I guess as he says, if you can't get along, just need to get it on.
So Kane chokeslams somebody onto the ladder that's set up.
Yeah,
that looked
on the side.
Fucking great. It would be painful as fuck, but
yeah,
it looked really cool.
Oh, and all the acrobatics, like earlier on, it was just. I think it was Daniel Bryan just runs at this one guy in the ring, runs past him, and zips through the.
Yeah, that's a really cool spot where he ducks the clothesline and then does the suicide dive.
And then someone frog splashes out on the other side to take, I believe it was Kane. Yes, Kane out in that one. And then Sin Cara and some of the other guys just jump out to take out all the other ones. It's like, okay, everybody's out of the ring now.
Justin Gabriel hits his 450 splash into the ring.
When really it was really close with all that stuff that was there.
I hated that. Why did they put, so normally you do that move off the top rope. They put a ladder on the top rope. The fuck? Does that 8 inches really make that move that much more impressive?
Nah.
It also makes it a lot more dangerous.
Well, I think that was the biggest thing, that he did that move while it was so dangerous and having all that stuff in the way.
It's pointless because it doesn't look cooler. It's just, a needless risk for the guy to take. If he did it off the top of the ladder, that would look super cool, and you could, justify that risk. This, where you have a ladder trying to balance on the 2 ropes, it doesn't look spectacular.
No. Later on, when we see it again, it even looks more ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. I don't know why they did that. But so Daniel Bryan ends up retrieving the briefcase.
Oh, man.
So he guarantees himself a world title match anytime he wishes during the next year. And Booker goes crazy.
In the typical way that Booker goes crazy.
He's just... Booker's my favorite. My favorite in the sense that he doesn't know what's going on half the time.
Nah.
So, next matchup. Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
the good times come to a fucking halt.
Yeah, the Diva title.
So, Brie Bella versus Kelly Kelly. Fuck, I hate that name.
There was a lot of screaming.
I have one note for this match, and it's thank God that's over.
Yeah, it was quick, thank God.
4 minutes and 54 seconds.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Which is about 4 minutes and 50 seconds too long. Also, the SmackDown Money in the Bank match went 24-27. So yeah, basically it's a nothing match. Brie and Kelly, it's just... Who gives a fuck?
We need to fill in the time slot somehow.
We need a piss break in here somewhere. Throw them out there for 5 minutes. I can't stand Kelly Kelly. She's the worst. She literally can't run the ropes.
True.
Basic day 1 wrestling training she can't fucking do. And okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
That's all the time we have for that.
Yeah.
So next up is the Big Slow versus Mark Henry.
Yes, the Behemoths match.
So, you would have seen Big Slow before.
Big Show, yes.
Yeah, I refer to him as Big Slow.
Understandable.
Mark Henry, were you familiar with him?
Not really, but mostly it's the fact that he crazy.
Yeah, so Mark Henry signed, I think at this point he'd been with the company about 15 years.
Okay.
He was initially brought in, I believe it was, on a 10-year, $1 million a year contract. And he had legitimately won, some kind of World's Strongest Man competition.
Yes.
And then they proceeded to make him a comedy character.
Oh, boy.
So here he's finally given a chance to kind of go full heel and just be a badass. And it's pretty great.
A little bit.
He's not fantastic in the ring, but he's like big enough and good enough at the character aspect to kind of cover that.
Nah, true. Just the fact that, oh yay, managed to win the match. You know what? I'm not satisfied with that. Just take this chair, stick it here for a second.
Yeah, so Henry gets the pin after hitting 2 World's Strongest Slams and 2 splashes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then he goes about Pillmanizing the Big Slow's ankle.
Yes.
So Pillmanizing is that part where they put the leg in the chair.
Yes.
And then yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty decent match considering the 2 involved.
Yeah.
Like, it's Big Slow and Mark Henry. You're not expecting, Daniel Bryan versus Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, that's true. None of the crazy jumps and flips that Sin Cara or any of the other guys were doing in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, and I mean, like, they can't work the technical style of, like, a Zack Sabre Jr. who can do, like, all these crazy escapes and stuff. These guys can't do that.
I think at the most they actually managed to pull off kind of a hold. I think it was Mike that managed on Big Show a hold on him, where anyone else who tried to do that on Big Show would not be able to do it.
Yeah, he does put him in, like, a single-leg Boston Crab for a minute, but, I mean, it's fine, and considering the 2 guys involved, it's pretty good.
No.
Grading on a curve and all that.
And then, of course, the little cart that had to come in to wheel the Big Show out.
That was fucking... Oh, my God. So they bring the fucking stretcher down, and then they're like, oh, fuck, it's Big Slow. We can't put him on a stretcher.
It's like, okay, you need a stretcher, 1 second, we'll bring it down. Wait, Big Show? Why the heck didn't you tell us it was Big Show? Get the cart in here!
And it takes goddamn forever. So yeah, they cart him out because they have to sell the injury, right? So
Then,
next up, Raw Money in the Bank. So in this match we have Alex Riley, Evan Bourne, Jack Swagger, Kofi Kingston, The Miz, R-Truth, Rey Mysterio, and Alberto Del Rio.
pretty much everybody that I heard from in this match was new aside from Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I kind of figured. I wanted to play a little game of who's no longer employed with the company in this.
Oh dear.
Because Alberto's gone, Alex Riley's gone, Evan Bourne's gone, Jack Swagger's gone, and Mysterio's gone.
Well, I'm not surprised with Mysterio. I think we had a discussion about that, but I'm also not surprised with Alberto. Just like, really?
It's a great character.
Okay, because just sort of seeing him as one of the particular characters I'm not exactly super fond of.
Yeah, so he was basically just playing like this super like dickhead rich like Mexican aristocrat, and he was really good at it. And he would part of the gimmick is you see him come out in the car, and he would come out in a different car every week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was like a really cool little thing that they were doing. Until they realized how much that cost them, and they were like, "Fuck that." So, what did you think of this match?
This match wasn't as crazy, and I figured it would go on around the same length as the other match, but it kind of ended anticlimactically, and I was just like,
yeah, this match only
it
goes
was a thing.
This match only goes 15 minutes and 54 seconds. It's kind of short for a Money in the Bank match. I have one question. They talk a lot about Destiny in this match, but it doesn't get released for like 3 more years.
Oh.
That's my pre-prepared joke for the day. And David's dead.
I'm gonna need a minute.
Okay. So, in this match we have... So, they start coming out, and Alex Riley comes out, and I'm like, you know what? Alex Riley had a great fucking theme song, and nothing else.
Yeah, it was kind of most everyone who came out that was new. I was just sort of, okay, I don't really know too much about you, so you're just kind of a nobody in my case. I think the only other thing that was interesting was just most of the guys brought in a ladder, and there was one guy who brought in a tiny ladder. It's like, yeah, I'm ready to scrap with these babies.
So Evan Bourne does a shooting star press off of a ladder.
Yeah, off of the ladder.
That looked really good. And thank God they were there to catch him.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that would have sucked.
Like that one other wrestler, I can't remember it specifically, but they knock over the ladder while two of them were up there. One falls down and has a case with his knee.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Kofi and Ray do jumping splashes to the outside and take out a bunch of people. That look pretty cool.
Oh, yes. Whole group.
Yeah, Ray does his patented flying dick tackle. That's what he does. Like, he jumps and then he, like, thrusts himself forward, and I'm like, what's the point of that? So
I think just sort of spreading up, coming to slam you. But
nobody, like, he pulls his arms and legs back. It's a flying dick tackle. That's what I'm calling it.
Radios then.
R-Truth is crazy at this point.
Yeah.
And it was pretty fun. Like, that was a fun character that he was doing at the time. Where he would complain about Little Jimmy. And Little Jimmy was just like this invisible person that only he could see.
Oh boy.
It was so good. And then, like, he said he had arachnophobia, and that was why he couldn't get the Money in the Bank, because it was high up.
That's not how it works.
Good.
That's not how it works.
It was so good. Okay, so let's get to... Okay, so the Miz falls down, and they try to put over that he's, like, blown his knee out.
Which, mostly it's camera angle tricks that they kind of
show.
Of
course.
Where they sell it somewhat.
They do a pretty good job, like, all things considered.
No, for all things considered. After he came out later on and ran into the stage to try and get up the ladder again, I was like, oh, they played me with that, those bastards.
Okay, here's my problem with that. Miz is meant to be a heel. Why is he coming back like a valiant babyface after being injured? What the fuck?
Well, I don't see it so much as a valiant thing. It's like, hell, I'm not giving up my chance for a contract. Get out of my way.
But, like, in wrestling logic, if you come back after being injured, that makes you a babyface. A heel would go back and get medical attention and be like, fuck it.
Okay.
It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Mario's.
But he gets a massive pop for it, so... I don't mind. Plus, The Miz in the last year or so has been really good, so... Alberto gets the briefcase after unmasking Mysterio.
Yeah, I wasn't very content with that. Alberto's a dick.
Yes. Well, he's a heel. So, do you know anything about masks in Lucha Libre?
A little bit, yes.
Okay. So you understood kind of like why that was a big deal.
That was a huge deal.
Yeah. It's not the first time Mysterio had ever been unmasked, but let's not talk about WCW right now. Because why would you want to sell masks to kids? So, what did you think of this match?
It works for what it is. They probably could have done a little bit more with it to make it a bit more entertaining, but it wasn't terrible in comparison. But it's definitely good that this was the second match and not the first one that they wanted to show.
Yeah, I think its time gets cut because they know they have to spend so much time on the main event.
That's true.
Because that is going to be a much longer match. So next up is Christian versus Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, and again, I don't exactly have the whole history lesson on everything. But...
Basically, so Edge and Christian were a major tag team in the Attitude Era. They're like legitimately best friends. Edge had to retire after WrestleMania because of he had neck fusion surgery and his neck was really fucked up. So at the pay-per-view after, Christian's in a world title match. He ends up winning it because Edge distracts his opponent. Christian gets the world title. First time Christian ever got the world title. Right? And then Randy Orton beat Christian for the world title 5 days later on TV because, fuck, why would you want to have a feel-good moment in wrestling? Doesn't make any sense. You could have waited. But basically, Christian's had a couple of rematches at this point, and he's always managed to get another one by going, well, no, that was bad officiating, or whatever.
Just trying to get the rules under his favor, say that someone was cheating.
I love the rules to the... Okay, so they have a stipulation that if Randy Orton gets disqualified or if there's bad officiating, Christian will become the world champion. How do you determine bad officiating? It's so fucking vague. Like, a part of me really wishes that Christian had lost, and he'd be like, no, the ref counted too fast, that was bad officiating. Or just be like a whiny bitch about it. Like, that would have been so good.
In some cases, I really wanted the match to go the other way as well. I was happy in certain cases, but they had to go that way.
It's a brilliant finish.
Mm.
I have not a whole lot of notes on this. It's a pretty good match. I love the jackknife cover that Randy does. So Christian's laying on the mat, and then he grabs his legs and kind of flips over to pin him.
Mm-hmm.
That looks really cool, and I always love when guys do that.
No, definitely. Just with any of that sort of work.
Do you have anything before the finish?
No, in my case. Everything in the match to kind of start was kind of the back and forth to work with it. Though, if it kind of stayed within it, Randy probably would have had the edge on most everything, with Christian just sort of trying to make excuses and just keep himself in the match.
Okay. Let's get to the finish.
But
so,
yeah,
Christian is down in the corner, and he spits in Randy's face. More accurately, his mouth.
Pretty much. At first I thought it was in his eye, but then when I sort of saw it again, it's like, oh, that was right in the mouth. Gross.
Randy loses his shit, and Christian kicks Christian in the balls, and that's how Christian wins the world title.
But then, of course, Randy is not done. He goes ahead and slams him into one of the announcer tables a couple of times.
Yeah, he gives him 2 RKOs on the announce table, and the goddamn table won't break. That was only supposed to happen once.
Oh, okay.
He's supposed to RKO him, have the table break, and leave. But it didn't break, and then he was told on his way back, like, go back and do it again. And then the table didn't break again.
It's like, there's nothing else I can do. I've already pissed enough as it is. I'm good to go.
It's one of those goddamn Japanese tables. Okay, now, moving on to the main event.
Well, almost the main event. We gotta remember that bullying ad they decided to do for wrestling. All the particular stuff they need to do for them kitties.
WWE doing a anti-bullying campaign is the height of hypocrisy. Yeah. I don't even have time to... No. Okay, so main event. CM Punk versus John Cena for the WWE Championship in Chicago.
Yes. So, firstly, I'm not sure how much info I kind of have on MC Punk.
CM
Punk. But, yeah, he a bit of a jerk. He's like a couple of steps under you.
Wow. So basically the basic storyline going in is Punk's contract's going to expire. He's got the match for the title. If Cena loses, he gets fired for whatever reason. And they kind of... Yeah, so Punk had been kind of going on this whole thing where he...
All the wrestling people are stupid, and I want all the popularity stuff, and they don't bother giving me any sort of important things. And
so the interesting thing, when he cuts one of his most infamous promos, the Pipe Bomb promo where he's sitting on the ramp, and he's just like wearing a Stone Cold t-shirt, and he just starts talking, he name drops 2 major companies.
Ah, yeah.
He says at one point, like, he's going to win the WWE Championship and go defend it in New Japan Pro Wrestling or Ring of Honor. Spoilers, he is going to win the title. I really wish they would have worked out a deal where he could have gone to New Japan for, like, a show or 2. Or gone to, like, Ring of Honor, or just had Punk going around defending the title on, like, indie companies and stuff. Like, that would have been so much fun. Like, just randomly, like, Punk shows up in, like, Chikara and is going to defend the WWE title.
Yo, I got the WWE title. Who wants it?
Yeah, like, that would have been so much fun, and it would have been so cool. But, of course not.
But then, of course, how would Vince McMahon feel about that?
It would have made him more money.
Nah, probably would have, but probably not how he saw it.
It literally would have made the title more valuable.
No, that makes sense, but Vince McMahon probably wouldn't.
So, we get a great video package before the entrances, which basically just highlights the feud and everything, but it's really well put together with CM Punk kind of narrating everything.
Yeah.
So Punk comes out to a godlike reception.
It's his hometown, so it's not too surprising.
And throughout the evening, they've been chanting CM Punk. But he comes out to, like, this just massive, like, I can't remember the last time I've heard a pop like that.
Nah, that's true.
Like, it's crazy.
He's just sitting there just listening on. It's like, this is the best thing ever.
It's great. Did you notice during his entrance he yells something? Near the rampway. He goes down on one knee and he kind of, like, runs his hand over the concrete.
A little bit of that, yes, but can't remember specifically what he shouts.
Okay. He shouts, "It's clobbering time."
Oh, boy.
From, like, the Thing from...
Yeah.
Yep. He does that on all his entrances. I just think that's really cool. Cena comes out.
Yeah, Cena
and gets the exact opposite reception.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love, like, Cena doesn't do his regular entrance. He just, like, walks to the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And it's super good. And he just, like, kind of keeps his head down and just gets in the ring. And I love that.
No,
he's not doing his regular shtick.
That's one of the things I sort of noticed. And I think I sort of understand about Cena for the most part, where he is no nonsense and gets specific things done, at least from what I've sort of seen. I don't exactly know Cena super well, despite the fact that I do, and just... But...
Yeah, so normally Cena has a much more involved entrance, but this is just very stripped down, very simple. It's very reminiscent of his entrance at one of the One Night Stand pay-per-views, where he was in ECW country. And let's just say ECW fans did not receive John Cena very well. Okay, so the match starts, and they start out slow to let the crowd get their chants in.
Yeah.
Because they're like, if we try to do anything cool now, people aren't going to remember it. They just want to chant. So it's pretty slow. It's pretty basic. The crowd starts chanting, "You can't wrestle" at Cena. And Punk's just like, who, me?
Wait, me?
It's so good. He's such a dickhead, and I love it. Cole brings up Survivor Series 97, and I wonder if that'll be coming up again later.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So, what did you think of this match?
It was intense. Just with everything that was sort of going on, with the storyline to all of it, and me not exactly knowing what was going to happen, despite the fact of the couple particular things spoiling it, but didn't realize that at the time. Just everything that was going on, Cena working through the match as he did, and MC just doing his thing in general. CM doing his thing in general.
Yeah, they have really good chemistry together. They just work really well together. So near the end of the match, Vince comes out to screw Punk out of the title, from getting the title.
It's like, don't you do it. Alberto, get in there, try to stop him.
So, Vince comes out with John Laurinaitis. Cena's like, no, not like that. He clotheslines Laurinaitis. Gets back in the ring. Punk hits the go to sleep. Pins Cena. Wins the title. The building goes apeshit.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, of course, CM just is like, okay, got the title. See ya.
Well, Vince then runs to commentary. Grabs the headset. He's like, get Alberto the fuck out here. Alberto comes out, Punk kicks him in the head and just kind of fucks off. And it's great, because he sits on the barricade and he blows a kiss to Vince. It's so good. And then Cole says CM Punk is no longer, as of midnight tonight, CM Punk will no longer be an employee of WWE. And I'm like, God damn it, Cole, you screwed up employee and independent contractor again. They're not employees, they don't get health benefits.
But then, of course, in my case, it's like, he gets to the door and it's like, I got the title, see ya! And then it goes to credits, and I'm like, okay, that can't be it, is it?
Yep.
They're not going to bother to resolve this?
Nope. Gotta save it for TV.
Okay.
So, at the end of this match, Punk, according to the storyline, is no longer part of the company. How long do you think it is before he comes back to TV?
3 weeks.
You generous son of a bitch.
Duly noted.
8 days.
Wow.
8 frickin' days.
Oh, he kind of realized, oh, hey, I'm not getting a paycheck. Why is that?
No, they just decided to rush the storyline. Like, legitimately, okay, so this happens in July. If it were up to me, I wouldn't have him back on TV till January.
Okay. Not until winter.
Yeah, like, I'd have him come back at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Like, why are you bringing him back fucking 8 days later? Oh yeah, Cena, who gets fired on this, will not miss a single TV.
No, that's not going to happen. It is John Cena.
Not a single TV after being fired.
It makes you kind of question who the heck decided to come up with this storyline and not bothering to stick to it.
Yeah. So, what did you think of the Punk Cena match?
Well, just within the entire match, it was just tense with everything that sort of went on. Near the end of it, when all the crazy stuff sort of started to happen, it was like, oh man, all this theatrical stuff. But then that moment where Cena's like, no, not like this. It's like, oh man, how long is this match going to last? Then the match kind of ends, and it was like, God damn it, Cena, you couldn't do that one flippant thing.
Yeah, it's a great finish. I also just love the finish Punk was using at the time, the go to sleep. That just looks really cool, and like, it looks legitimate. Like if you actually did that to someone, you'd kill them. Because he's literally like throwing you down and then like drilling his knee into your face. So it looks cool.
Yeah.
So overall, what did you think of the pay-per-view?
There were ups.
And there were some fucking lows, I know.
Yeah. It wasn't terrible. It definitely wasn't like one of those matches that you showed me a while back.
Like what?
That bloody match that one girl had with the other guy. Just, ugh.
I don't remember this.
It's probably a good thing.
Okay.
But yeah, on whole, it was good. Most everything that everyone did was pretty amazing, aside from a couple.
Except Kelly trying to run the ropes.
So, on whole, thank goodness that some of the guys in the second ladder match are kind of heading off doing different things, but most everyone else that I kind of saw was definitely interesting to see, and I'd be intrigued to see what other matches they go through, as long as it's not a whole bunch more John Cena during his rapper phase.
So was there anybody in this show that kind of like, that you were like, oh, I want to see more of that?
Anything from Rey Mysterio or Sin Cara, maybe some of the stuff with Sheamus, especially with what he did to Sin Cara. Yeah, you got nuts. I wouldn't be too upset with just seeing just about anything from anyone within these matches would be fine. Like, there wasn't anyone that was just like, good sir, you are a depraved person in the most horrible way, and I do not ever want to see any of your matches ever again.
What did you think of CM Punk?
I probably need to sort of see more of his origin to see where the heck he sort of came from, since I didn't really understand exactly where all of this frustration was coming from, aside from the fact that, oh, this guy's getting a whole bunch of popular stuff that I want, but I don't have that. Why is that? All the management and whatnot are doing horrible things. I'm gonna rebel against them.
Yeah, so, legitimately, Punk was basically on his way out the door at this point. I know there was one rumor that he signed a new contract at the pay-per-view. I don't know how true that actually is, but it was very much last minute where he signed a new contract.
Okay. That was one of the other particular things that I was sort of wondering, either going out the door with the title or whatnot, where it isn't exactly midnight for contract being spelled, and just like, oh man, CM Punk, that was so amazing. Could you sign an autograph for me?
So
just
there's
so sad.
One of the funny things was he legitimately just left the building in his gear with the title and was walking down the street carrying the title.
So just randomly be seeing a guy walking around like, woo, got the WWE title!
Yep.
Do you think that was a wrestler or just some crazy fan? I am not sure.
Yeah, so I love this pay-per-view. I think it's a lot of fun. I mean, the main event is really what sells it. But yeah. So you'll definitely be seeing more of CM Punk.
Supposed yay? I'm not sure. But he wasn't terrible.
Okay. So I think that's going to be it for this time. I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.
Justin, do you have anything to add? You're not asleep. Don't try to bullshit me.
Yeah. I'm
Oh.
sleeping.
Oh, by the way, Justin.
What?
Next time we talk, I've got a show for you. It's time for the Rumble. It's time for the Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble?
The Royal Rumble.
Rumble?
Rumble it is.
Alright.
Alrighty, that's going to be it. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And cameo, Justin.